Good morning, everyone. If I can get everyone to take their seats, that would be great. I'm sure the entrepreneurs are anxiously awaiting to do their presentation, but before we do that, I'd like to talk to you a little bit, just about 15 minutes, about what NASA iTech is, if you haven't been here. And part of the way I can do that is actually by showing a video that our great team has pulled together. I'm Blackwell. I actually started NASA iTech within the federal agency with the help of lots of people, including the chief technologist. When I came up with the idea of what I think it should be, I certainly didn't just roll it out that way. I actually took input from lots of people so that I could figure out if this would work or it wouldn't work. And so what you will see about our program, the results and all of that, has been the efforts of a great many people within our agency, outside of the agency, and that has helped to make it successful today. And so let's cue the video. NASA iTech is a program that we have within the Space Technology Mission Directorate Office that searches for cutting-edge technologies that are solving problems on Earth that also have the potential to be a solution for NASA and the space industry.
What's unique about the NASA iTech program is that it operates in profoundly different, less traditional ways. They send out a technology call for applications to address specific NASA needs.
We have our subject matter experts, our chief technologists, provide endorsement, and with that, work hand in hand with the investors that are there.
Entrepreneurs need courage to do what they do. They need to have quite a bit of endurance to be able to withstand the pressures of being an entrepreneur. And they really need an ecosystem in their surroundings to help them move that technology forward. And of course, they always need funding. Normally, when you submit a proposal, you're never going to get the opportunity that you get to sit down with our chief technologist across our agency. And that's critical. It's critical for the entrepreneurs.
The quality of the presentations at the iTech was really fantastic. I mean, they got mentored and stuff, and they were really first class. They were probably the best concepts I've seen in any proposal that I've ever read. But what really made it interesting is that we could actually talk with them about their concept and make suggestions for it and how we could use it. So that interaction was different than what we normally do on proposals and the way the government does it.
I think partnerships with the chief technology officers at NASA, for which there's over 20 of them, and being able to work, meet, and identify with them, as well as the mentorship programs that goes along, really makes NASA a more personable organization that a small company like ours can approach, work with, and find the ways that's the sweet spot of really solving problems.
The iTech competition was not only a rewarding experience for me in terms of sort of thinking about problem solving and design and so on. It allows me to think slightly differently in a little more open way. So I think it's been a tremendous, surprising sort of eye-opener for me.
And the great thing just from sitting at the NASA iTech was looking at how some of these technologies, even though they were geared for space, some of the technologies could be repurposed for different scientific challenges in the environment, in space, and medicine.
How much better than having the CTO of a NASA center sitting with me talking to that technology.
The access and really collaboration that we get as finalists has been incredibly helpful and creates an opportunity for us to solve problems.
The beauty of it is those discussions are coming back with literally the technologists and the experts right now in the industry.
We are building a network of data relay satellites that can help remote sensing satellites get more data to the ground and reduce latency.
Where your Roomba and your drone have a kid, and the kid can disinfect the space station.
We've used all the lessons that we've learned to create a next-generation humanoid platform that will change the way we live here on Earth and will take NASA and space exploration into the future.
Our system can process wastewater just like it does in the body and urine. so that you get clean, deliverable water to a community on the ground.
Our team has developed a suite of patent-pending miniature robots that fit inside the pathways of the body.
We have built a technology that is a Bayesian AI small data learning engine.
We provide lifelike motion for the next generation of robotics and automation. We've taken an old science and applied it in a radically new way to make Hazel artificial muscles.
And I'm here to tell you about our needle-free jet injection technology.
It's an exercise machine that grabs intelligent data from astronauts in a microgravity environment.
We have designed a small, compact, lightweight apparatus for high-contrast imaging of dim exoplanets next to bright stars.
NASA iTech is reaching out across cities throughout the U.S. to identify cutting-edge technologies that do have a commercial market value, but also can be customized to work within the space agency. We all benefit from that. Welcome to NASA iTech. So I've already pushed the issue, hashtag NASA iTech. I'll be tweeting about the companies today as they're presenting, but I hope that the video kind of gave you a good feel of the caliber of technologies that you'll see at NASA iTech. And if I ever want to think that I'm, smart, I show up at NASA iTech and I realize I'm not as smart as what I thought I was. I'm probably the least smart person in the room because what they're doing is pretty incredible. But why did we even stand up a program within the agency? We are actually facing unprecedented technological challenges, and that requires, a unique approach. And so what we do is we look external to the space industry to find technologies that have a commercial market path and has the potential to actually solve problems for NASA. And we do that because we know we don't have the monopoly on great ideas. We know that there are brilliant people throughout the globe, more than just us. And so that's important. And so we bring together the innovators, which is what you're going to have today, investors, industry leaders, to cause groundbreaking technologies to develop more quickly. Because externally, when these entrepreneurs can actually get external funding outside of a government organization, that funding, the investors help to drive that technology forward. Because we're looking for things that are solving problems on Earth and have the potential to solve a challenge for us in space. When we do that, it helps them actually be able to raise money, because it's solving a problem on Earth. We also look for things that are similar needs, like we need clean water for human consumption here on Earth. There's lots of places where we don't have it. We need to be able to harness energy and store it long term. That's a problem on Earth, but it's also a challenge that we have and we're facing if we're going to colonize another planet, if we're going to go to the moon. Those are issues that we have to address, but they're already being addressed. So why not look for those people that are developing the technologies, bring them in, provide a platform, something like NASA iTech, so that we can actually both address those similar needs. Part of what we did when we stood it up is I said, gosh, we need to remove some barriers. The first one, we simplified the process. You're thinking, yeah, it's still government. We made it a 5-page white paper. So for those of you that don't know our process, it really is a simple 5-page white paper. The technologies that you saw in that video and the technologies you'll see presented today, they came through the process by using a 5-page white paper. If you don't believe me, look at the second grader that submitted a proposal. No kidding, 8 years old. He was from Taiwan, and he basically was trying to tell us, hey, I have some solutions for you, although he missed the deadline. I didn't get it for months later, but he found the website from Taiwan, actually a hand-drawn proposal, handwritten. I actually had to get it transcribed so that I could actually respond back to him. But I'm thinking, if we made it simple enough for a second grader, we made it simple so that you can apply. We also remove barriers like reducing intellectual property concerns, because when private investments are being made in the company, not government, you don't really have to worry about there being IP concerns. That's really a concern that investors have. And so we just removed it altogether by not even going there. The third one we removed was we don't prescribe the solution. So instead of us saying, I need this widget, it needs to be this size because this technology is what's going to solve the problem, we didn't do that. Instead, we actually opened it up and provided focus areas. So we actually make it broad so that the entrepreneurs can actually tell us what they think might be a solution to some of those challenges that we have. It actually broadens it for us, for them, and then when we see some of the technologies that have come through, it honestly kind of blows our mind. So why NASA iTech? I know I work for NASA, and so you guys might think I'm a little bit biased, but I do think it's the greatest federal agency to work for in our country. And I do because not only what we do, we inspire people to dream bigger dreams, and then we help them achieve those dreams. And so if you see someone from NASA, generally they're wearing a little pin, a lapel pin. And so I was on a flight coming back from California. It's a long flight, and I was working on my laptop. And sadly, I have my business card taped to the inside of my laptop, so if somebody wants my office number, I can give it to them. Because I don't call myself that much, so I don't remember it that much. And so this little girl sitting next to me, she taps me on the shoulder, and she says, excuse me, do you work for NASA? And so I take my headphones out. I was like, yes, I do. And she said, I'm going to work for NASA someday. And I went, wow, how old are you? She said, I'm 9. At that moment, I thought, clearly, I am not qualified to have that conversation with her. Because at 9, I think I was probably playing with Barbies, honestly. And so I said, well, in my mind, I thought, I already know what she wants to do when she works for NASA. But I said, what do you want to do for NASA? And I'm thinking she's going to say, I want to be an astronaut, which, I mean, that's probably the coolest job in my mind. And she said, I'm going to build robots for NASA. And I was just blown away that at 9 years old, this little girl already had decided this is her dream. It's her dream job to build robots for NASA at 9. That inspired me. And so I took off my lapel pin, and I actually pinned it to her shirt. And I said, when I came to work for NASA, which was not very long ago, but when I came to work for NASA, we actually had to swear in when we received our NASA pin. And it was a very significant little ceremony that I felt like it was really important for me. And so I explained that to her and the significance of that, because every time I wear it, I'm representing the agency, and I know that. And I know that it's actually touching little 9-year-old girls across the country. And so I said, I want you to take this pin, and I want you to keep it. You've chosen is hard. You're going to have steep competition. And there's going to be days that you're going to identify an easier path that you might want to give up. And so I said, so I'm telling you, when that happens, I want you to go back and find this pin that I've given you and remember that it's worth the journey. Because that little girl someday will be building robots for NASA. I guarantee it. At 9, to have that dream, and that's why NASA iTech, that's what we do. We help to inspire people to dream big, and we help them achieve it. I can't even imagine what the robots will look like. So the impact is worth it. So the third leading cause of death, based on statistics in the US, is avoidable medical mistakes. 440,000 people died in 2016 as a result of that. And the only reason why I know this statistic is because I actually had to take a training to volunteer at a hospital, and I couldn't believe it. And I didn't believe the numbers. I went and I looked them up, and 440,000 people, third leading cause of death. And if we can help technology move forward quickly to solve that as a problem, then we should, because this generation of people, the younger generation, the entrepreneurs that are coming out, they don't really care about the empire. They care about the impact that they're making in the world today. And if I can somehow, by what we're doing, reach out to those people, help leverage a platform so that they could talk about their technology that could actually impact the world and help impact NASA, solving a problem for us potentially, then I feel like we've done what we needed to do. So how well is NASA iTech doing? So in about an 18-month time period, we had received over 400 proposals. 40 of those were finalists and have come to our NASA iTech Forum, and they've raised $237 million of private investment dollars. Now these numbers are reported to us, and this is not even all of the numbers that the companies have provided to our contractor. And those numbers are real though. We've actually checked and double-checked the numbers to make sure, but $237 million with 40 companies of private investment dollars in about an 18-month time period. I think that the idea was pretty good. So what we do is we actually have something called Ignite the Night, where we go into a city. Some of the entrepreneurs here, that's where they were actually one of the winners for some of those. And then we actually have a big forum. So over a 6-month time period, we traveled throughout the US, hitting cities to kind of identify entrepreneurs in those cities, and then basically it all actually culminates to this forum today in a 6-month time period. If you want to get involved because you're new here, you're not familiar with the program, the website is nasaitech.com, and there's a Get Involved tab. But I wouldn't be here today if I didn't work for an agency that allowed me to dream bigger dreams and allow me to have the desire to impact the world. And so I'm honored to be standing on this stage as a NASA employee. But even more than that, I am ecstatic to see the technologies that you're going to see over the next 2 days. So thank you for being here. I hope you're just as excited. Thank you.